Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This video is a Pyro Nady special. I know you commented on one of my previous videos mentioning that you liked watching good gameplay, so that's what we're aiming for today. We did make a theme deck. This is just a deck that I use to get up to 10,000 trophies. It's a Double Siege deck with Evolved Mortar and X-Bow, and then Evolved Snowball as well. I've noticed that it's really hard to push up and succeed and win at the higher levels with this, so I haven't been able to get up to 15,000 trophies, but it's a really good deck at some of the lower arenas leading up to 10,000 because people typically don't know how to counter it, and they usually just spam E-Barbs and Mega Knight, which you can counter if you play it right. So this is the deck that I've been using for a while. I'm gonna play it today and kind of explain how I use it. I know I don't use it perfectly, but hopefully you can learn something. Hopefully we can win a game. And I am trying to upgrade other cards because, again, I've noticed that it is hard to win at higher levels with this. So it's not very meta. So if I have Snowball in my starting hand, I'll typically play it, or Mortar, because the strategy is that we just want to get to the Evo as quick as we can. We're going to go with the defensive Mortar here because he's building up a massive push. We'll go with E-Spirit to clear out a few of the skeletons, and then a Dark Goblin low to minimize damage, and hopefully this can... Okay, we'll keep dragging this away, and then Snowball the Witch away to take as little damage as possible, and that's not a terrible defense. That could have been worse, but we've cycled 2 mortars, which is ideal. I typically don't play X-Bow at the start unless they give me a reason to, unless they go with a Golem in the back, or a P.E.K.K.A. in the back, or a Lava Hound. But this is just kind of a wild card. I typically just play this like a quick mortar cycle deck, and we're going to go with a mortar on offense so that we might be able to split up his push, because I think he'll have to commit Elixir to this lane, and he is not going to. This guy is just like every E-Golem player ever. Just ignores everything and goes straight for his push. So we're going to use our Evo Snowball here. Do you think this guy ever had a parents that cared for him? Because yeah, this guy is... I can't think of a more fitting stereotype for an E-Golem player. Just ignore everything that's going on in the lane that they're attacking and just build up the biggest push. So it's going to be kind of annoying to defend in double, because he's probably just going to go with his E-Golem in the back and build up his massive push, unless he's given up, which would be great. And it looks like he has. So we are going to try to just 3-crown him as quickly as possible and get on to the next one. But that's typically how I play this, is pretty much like a mortar cycle deck. Because it's so quick, you can cycle mortars and get to the Evo really quickly, and then I only really have X-Bow there as kind of a surprise factor. It's not, I don't really play it early on unless they go with a super heavy card in the back. And then the Evo Snowball is there if the mortar can't lock on, if the X-Bow can't lock on. It's kind of there as another wild card to take cards off the map and into the Snowball so that we can get a lock if we normally can't. I wish I could take credit for building this deck, but it's not a deck of my own creation. It was a deck that was made and played by everyone's favorite Australian Clash Royale YouTuber. So, I can't take credit for it, but it is a deck that I enjoy playing and that I've played for a while. And we may be up against another E-Golem or Golem player just based on the Night Witch, and it looks like we are. We're up against Double Witch, so we'll kind of kite both lanes and then do a low mortar so the E-Dragon doesn't splash. We'll snowball that to minimize damage, and so that's typically what I do. Don't be afraid to use your mortar on defense if you need to, because at the very least you end up cycling to closer to the evolved one. I didn't actually realize until maybe 8,000 or 9,000 trophies that the Evo Mortar shoots quicker. I thought it did when watching videos of it. It seemed like it shot quicker. Okay, so he has mirror, so he probably does have mirrored E-Golem, I would guess. But I didn't realize that it shoots quicker. So in addition to getting a goblin that shanks the tower, you also get 20% quicker hit speed. Instead of 5 seconds between shots, it's 4. So it just does a lot more damage, and that's why we essentially cycle to it as quick as we can. And we have it now. I don't really know what he's doing. He's mirroring his skeletons. So we'll go with this on offense. And then if he goes for a dragon, we'll play a Dark Goblin anyway. And that should do a good job of taking that out. And while he's worried about that, I'll actually go for an X-Bow in the other lane, because we do have Evolved Snowball as well. So if he plays a heavy card, we can just... oh, I thought that was on the tower, but I guess not. So we'll laugh at him, because I think he's an E-Golem player that probably deserves that. It would be crazy if we were against another E-Golem player, back to back. But he hasn't played it yet, so don't really know what he's doing here. I guess he's waiting really until the last minute. We'll go with an Ice Golem just to protect the Dark Goblin a bit, and then we have such a lead that I think we'll just go with this on defense and a Snowball as well. So I'm wondering if he's ever going to play his... This actually might be Golem. I don't think... This might not be E-Golem. He might be just trying to save for a big Golem push, which would be annoying to defend. But we do have our Evo Mortar again. He's really hasn't gone in yet. But assuming we can kill this, then that should be game over. I want to look at this guy's deck, because I think he must have had Golem, but he just never played it. Yeah, he had Golem, but he just never built up enough of never played it. But that's how I play the deck typically, is just as a quick mortar cycle. I use X-Bow if they give me a reason to, or if they're spending a ton of elixir in one lane, or if they get into kind of this cycle where they routinely play the same cards and they're kind of getting really comfortable with the same interactions. It's kind of a wild card. The Snowball is as well. So that's the deck that I typically play, but I'm wanting to switch it up to something different. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon.